Hey, what's going on YouTube? How are y'all doing? It's Andrew again, your media and social media platform artist guy. I tried to make it shorter. It's just getting worse every time I do this. Hey, it's Andrew. How you doing, YouTube? Long time no see. Okay, so we're going to do another chapter today, and I wanted to do actually a chapter on a few other topics, but actually this topic really stood out when I was working on some of my shorts. Yeah, today we're going to be working on the topic of comparison and the bane of it, and how comparison and people that compare you in your life, or you comparing yourself to other people, really detriments the growth of your actual full full development of an artist and a performer or a high performance individual, whether it's more military or medical, whatever it is, just high performance in general. So this whole video is just about don't compare yourself to other people. And I don't want to say don't. It's going to happen. It's part of the human psyche, but just be mindful and spatially aware. Remember, all these videos are about mindfulness, spatial awareness, and just being socially aware of everything around you, okay? So there's going to be people around you in your field that are going to be extremely skilled at what they do, that are going to be your age or maybe younger. And then there's going to be people that are like the opposite of that, that have no skill and have an incredible opportunity in their field of business, but they're going to be way older than you or way younger than you. Okay, so there's so many different aspects, and how that spectrum could go and like split into so many different avenues. So with that said, we're only points in this grid, right? So if you're point A21, okay, say up here is A21, and down here is like Z45. If you're trying to compare yourself to Z45, first off, you're not even on the same grid part of that, so you can't even compare that, right? You could say that you're in the same scene, but we want to start thinking about this. So I'm going to break down a little bit of the deeper psychology, I guess, of it, and how we could kind of fix it for ourselves and move on. So I'm going to try and make this a quick video. All right. How comparison impacts high-performance individuals. Unrealistic expectations. The unrealistic expectation you have is expecting to be like somebody else when you really should be expecting to be like yourself. Just be yourself. At the end of the day, yeah, we do have different faces in Japanese culture. I really love this. They say that the human being has 3 different faces: the one we show to the public, the one that we show to our loved ones and our friends, and the one that we have show it face at home in our private, who we are, right? So don't fall into the delusion of unrealistic expectations. You just enjoy the pace that you're going at, and that's how it works sometimes. People pick things up quick. People pick things up slowly. And working with a lot of high performance people, I could tell you there's been individuals where I would show a skill to them and it would take them 2 years to develop that skill, because they have to first understand how the mechanics of the skill works, and then their brain has to understand how that works, and then their brain has to connect it through certain variable exercises that will ignite those certain muscle groups to interact with each other to make the action of whatever movement happen. With that said, long story short, some people are really good at this kind of stuff and they pick things up quickly. In the sports world, especially in the acrobatic world, we call this proprioception. Proprioception is the ability to know how to do something without having to look at it. So when you walk into your room and you flick the light switch on, when you're playing a musical instrument, when you're whatever, something you could do without thinking but doing. Some guys are so good at shooting. Some of my gun buddies, I live right across from a shotgun shooting range, so some of my gun buddies out there, they know how to shoot and and reload, and they show me all the tactics for film. And that's what I mean. The proprioceptive abilities out there are incredible, and some people have it's a God-given thing, or people have fine-tuned it for so long that you're going to compare yourself at the moment and think that you could do it, and it's going to be overwhelming and frustrating to you. And another note that I want to make on top of that is, when you say, for instance, you suffer severe nerve damage. So I can't move these 2 fingers on the edge of my hand. Nerve damage. Anyway, I don't want to get into that. That's a story for another video, but we're talking about you guys right now. What I'm trying to get at with this point is, there was nerve damage, and for every year the nerve grows 1 millimeter, right? So I wouldn't get full ability in my fingers until, like, who knows, later in my life, maybe never. But what I'm trying to say is that's how the brain works when you guys are developing and growing. Okay, so don't be discouraged. Sometimes it takes years for those nerves to connect, and those electric pieces to fire, and sometimes they misfire, and that's how it is. That's how we are as humans. We're literally water, electricity, and stardust, right? So that's how it is. All right, so this imposters, despite visible accomplishments, comparing oneself to others can trigger feelings of being a fraud, undermining the confidence. And I don't want you to undermine your confidence. At the end of the day, we are in a high performance situation. So that means we have to be extremely confident. Like, we're always with our head high, even if the world is crashing around us. There's been times where my whole world has been completely devastated, and you do have to embrace the fact that you are that, like, super pro individual, but then you also have to keep in mind that you're that pro individual at this certain level, and you have to work to get to those levels. Everybody is taking the time to work to get to their levels. If not, they were born into the situation. Okay, so that's just how it is. Or they had to work into that born into it situation triple time, depending on the severity or the expectations. Burnout throughout overcompensation. Yeah, we don't want to overdo it when we're trying to, like, try to catch up to other people's accomplishments. Like, I'm in the field of media. There's a lot of stunt performers I know. They've already worked. They've doubled for a year. I've never doubled for a year. Maybe I've doubled for a week, a couple days, off and on, maybe a month, but I know people that have doubled for a whole year, but that's because their body is the exact copy and their face is very similar to the lead actor, and it's an action film or an action series, right? So you can't knock what is being provided in the business and your community. Unless you want to do something about it, you create your own opportunities, and that's the hard way, but that's how it is. That's how life is. It doesn't matter what business. You're either have it shoeing into your business, or you bust your tail. And most of us out here are doing option number 2. Okay, so let's do some fresh strategies for high performers. Develop an internal scorecard. What I want you to do is just get, like, one of those Dollarama, like $5 like whiteboards, and just say, for instance, I'm working on 3 skills for the week, or maybe for the month. Sometimes it takes a month to get 1 skill. So maybe that month I'm working on 3 skills. So I'm going to write down the 3 skills, and then I'm just going to write down, like, the baby steps and record and document those baby steps throughout that until the skills are accomplished. Why it helps? Internal validation often fuels comparisons, but an internal scorecard shifts focus to oneself and the most determined values you need, which is your accomplishments. Okay, and how to apply this? Identify 3 qualifications. Oh, I already just explained that. Whoops. I reread. Anyway, so here we go. Let's get into point number 2. So point number 1 I want to go over with one more time was develop an internal scorecard. So we want to get that little whiteboard, or we want to put it in our phone, or whatever it is, and we want to, like, document that, because if you see it, you will be motivated to do it, right? And make your goals small right now. Don't worry about being the next Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt, or don't worry about being the next Pele or Caitlin Clark. Right now, just worry about being the best you, and the little evolution through those baby steps of your consistency as a professional will start cracking open. You wouldn't have to be so hard on yourself. Number 2, shift from scarcity to abundant mind state. And this is something that I mentioned in the past. Why it helps? The comparisons are, they stem from a belief of success that's finite. And if you're a huge person for numbers and math, and I love numbers and math, I'm not really the best with mathing itself, but I understand the math. I just got to, I need assistance at times. But what I'm saying is all of this is finite, and, adapting to an abundant mind state allows you to celebrate other people's achievements without diminishing yours. So that's another thing. In this finite terminology, there's a lot of numbers going on. So celebrate other people's numbers as you're celebrating and going through the journey of your numbers. It's a goal to 10,000 for a lot of us, okay? It's a goal. Oh, my light levels are getting low. It's a goal to 10,000 for a lot of us, okay? And You have to do one thing 10,000 times properly to master it. And that's why Bruce Lee did mention he's not scared of the person that has 10,000 kicks. He's scared of the person that has that one kick he's trained 10,000 times, right? So just make sure that you worry about your own 10,000. And if other people score, give them a round of applause, pat them back. If you want to buy them a drink or whatever, great. But just worry about you for now. You are important, okay? How to apply this. Actively acknowledge a peer success and reflect on how it inspires to teach you to improve on yourself. So be inspired by other people. Don't think that just because somebody got something faster than you or their opportunities kicked off sooner than yours, that your time is coming. Okay, like you're never going to be forgotten. Like if you put yourself in that mind state, you will be forgotten. People would see you as a forgotten individual, and that's it. It's done. Okay, so with that said, just keep yourself in the game. Other people get stuff, congratulate them, shake them in the hand, look them in the eye, be honest and professional, and just know that your time is coming. That's really important. Okay, moving on. Why it helps. Awareness of triggers allows high performance individuals to manage them. So knowing that you used to get jealous or triggered when people would be successful around you because of that comparison factor, that's when you would diminish and start slowing down. So your day of success and progress just turned to a quarter of a day of success and progress, because now you have to detox the next day from, you know what I mean? Like certain people could use that drive to become a very good athlete or a very good person in that field, but not everybody could do that. And that's what I want to stress too is, if you're going to use anger as a fuel, if you're going to use hate as a fuel, especially in the field of high performance, it can't be malice towards yourself. It has to be like, think the Michael Jordan kind of mentality. You don't go out and take names. You just, every night when you go out, you just destroy everything. Okay? And that's what your mentality has to be. Go out and in your personal goals, destroy everything. How to apply. Once a week, list moments when your comparison affected you negatively and reflect on what triggered it and write one way to prevent it from next time. So avoiding competitive comparisons or taking breaks from metrics like views or rankings. So what I'd like you to do is, so next time, say for instance, let's use an example. Say for instance, you're building a bookshelf and you're not a handy person. The first bookshelf isn't going to be the best. Like you have to do maybe 2 or 3 bookshelves, maybe 4 or 5 until the 5th is the best bookshelf. I don't know why I put that down. I still have some notes I got to read. But you know what I mean? You have to put in the time, and that's going back to the rule of 10,000. You got to put in the time and the work, and then understand the angles and the places and the best points of the wood to use and the best angles to, right? Before the bookshelf is like an immortal brick where it's like it could hold anything. You know, so that's what we got to do in our careers. We got to immortalize our brick, which is our soul and our mind state. That's very important for a high performance individual. And yeah, what I want you to do is, say for instance, like I said, you're working on your bookshelf this week. If you measured out your parts and then you like cut all your parts and you pieced it all together and you like had a perfect looking bookshelf, put a bunch of weights on it. Do like a couple tests on it, see how much it could withstand, and then make a better one. And then after that, make a better one. And then after that, make a better one. And after that, make even a better one. Cool? So let's go over the points one more time, because I don't want to make my videos too long. I know the last few have been like 20 and da-da-da-da. So let's just go over the 3 points one more time. How comparison impacts high performance individuals. Unrealistic expectations puts you in a negative point. Oh, I can't speak today. Sorry, I coached all morning, so I'm like, unrealistic expectations puts you in a negative mind state. So fix those expectations by going through the steps explained earlier in the video. Fresh strategies for high performers. Develop an internal scorecard. So make sure you keep track and document everything that you do. That's very important. Whether you could do it mentally, whether you put it on your phone, or whether you have it on your billboard or your whiteboard. And last but not least, create a comparison audit routine. And this is what I want you to do. Create this audit routine, track it once a week, figure out the times when you are very aware of when maybe jealousy or any kind of like negative kind of emotion hits, document it, and then remember, next time, celebrate it. That person's going through the same journey as you, maybe something even worse. You know what I mean? We don't know what the other person's going through, right? So be kind to one another, celebrate their accomplishments, because you never know. Celebrating that person's accomplishments, they might have the opportunity to give you a chance to win. And that, I'm going to say, is going to close out my thought for the day. I'm going to come out with more videos, and I'm going to try not to be so exhausted when I come out with these videos. It's hard to speak after coaching for so many hours, but I'm so enthusiastic about this YouTube journey. And I want to say, once again, thank you for all your help, and thank you for all the comments and the messages, and everyone viewing. Thank you. Like, I'm really flattered, and God bless each and every one of you. Safety and blessed, and I'm so appreciative of it. And yeah, I wish you all the best. And if you need any questions or want anything, shoot me a message. I'm not a stranger. Excuse me. I love you. Bye.